There are so many great games coming out in 2023, but don't expect them to be good until weeks, months, and in some cases years after their release. So many games have come out a buggy mess over the last few years. In today's video, I want to talk about why releasing unfinished games is absolutely terrible for the consumer and why it will likely continue. This shouldn't be the norm, but it's happening more and more. Imagine 15 years ago the games releasing in the same states as some of the buggy messes that we see that are released today. Imagine if GTA San Andreas upon its original release was as buggy as the Definitive Edition release. That would be messed up. If we use Cyberpunk as an example, CD Projekt Red announced on December 10th in 2020 that they sold 8 million copies via pre-order. That's more than enough to cover the game's development cost, as well as the marketing and promotional expenses, either already incurred or anticipated for the rest of 2020. Someone in charge wasn't going to miss out on that Christmas money no matter what, even though they knew full well it was not in a state to release to all consoles and PC yet. We all know this wasn't great for CD Projekt Red. Somebody was likely laughing all the way to the bank, but overall, the sales figures for Cyberpunk are likely a far cry from what it should have been. They responded as appropriately as they could, tried to put forward a plan, and tried to stick to it. Fast forward to 2023 and the game has sold well over 20 million copies. The game is a blast, I love it, it's one of the best stories I've played. But sadly, CD Projekt Red's recent success with the Cyberpunk franchise shouldn't fix everything. On the contrary, does it make more of a business case that pushing that envelope of releasing an unfinished product make more sense to companies? I really hope not. A more recent example is Halo Infinite. When Halo released in 2021, it may have been in a bare bones beta mode. There were a fair amount of problems, including desync issues, but more importantly, there was not a whole lot to the game. It had a terrible XP system, only 10 maps, no Forge mode, no firefight, no split screen campaign. Fast forward to January 2023 and Halo Infinite's gotten a lot better. Forge and custom games are a lot of fun, a better XP system has been released, but it took about a year to get there. Will it get better and better? I think so. It looks like they're working on a Battle Royale mode for Halo, so we'll see where that goes. However, it still really felt like an incomplete game upon launch. At least multiplayer is free though. A more recent example is the Callisto Protocol, which has reportedly flopped sales-wise. So this game cost about $162 million to make. By the end of 2022, it was expected to sell 5 million copies. I guess it hasn't even sold 2 yet. Although there may be other reasons that the Callisto Protocol didn't sell well. It's just another example of a game being released when it's not ready, full of performance issues. What's the next buggy mess that's going to come out? Is it going to be the new Harry Potter game? Is it going to be Redfall? Game companies are going to try to do their best to manage the risk in doing this versus the outcomes. We can almost look back at No Man's Sky and its ability to rebound from the disastrous launch as a bad template. They will just continue to do this. There's no consumer laws really protecting us against this, I don't believe. Maybe something in the UK, but no serious deterrents outside the risk that they are willing to absorb. It's easy to blame consumers and say, hey, you're the ones buying it. But we're buying it on the goodwill and expectations that are set from the game developers. Rest assured that there are some executives of game companies out there that are going to try to take the most amount of money from you for the least amount of effort. Thankfully, that's not all of them. It doesn't mean you still can't enjoy or still can't have fun with these games. It's just that the threshold of quality that we've been used to just doesn't seem to be there upon initial launch. That could be based on scope, on time, on resources. I do hope developers figure out quickly that this is not good for business, likely why Skull and Bones has been delayed like 6 times. If you have to delay something 6 times, you're probably under an enormous pressure to release it. The reason I say enormous pressure to release it, because if there wasn't, there probably would have been a release date far off from now that would have been more or less when the game was going to be ready. The future of gaming seems pretty impressive, with amazing tools, resources, and people behind it. Here's hoping that they're good and playable on day 1 of release. What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like. If you dig my content and my style and I've earned it, make sure to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video or live stream.